Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a tutorial and a review of the new nude palette from Huda Beauty. This palette released I think 2 weeks ago or so, and I have been testing it out like every single day, trying different methods and things like that to give you guys a full review on it. It is a palette that retails for $65. So today we're going to find out, is it worth your money? How do all the shadows perform? We're going to talk about it all. So really quick before we get started, if you are new to my channel, then hello, welcome. Make sure before you leave, you do not forget to subscribe or right down below so you're notified for future videos from me. I do post 3 times a week. So Wednesdays, Fridays, and then Mondays we do mail hauls. And then also make sure you click the bell notification so you're notified as soon as my videos go live. But I'm very excited to jump into this video and give you guys my thoughts, show you how I came up with this look. So let's get started. I legit feel like I'm so fancy right now in this robe, like honestly. Okay, well, let me get serious. That means moving everything around because of course I didn't have everything set up before I started. All right, microphone's on. Am I scented? Okay, so, all right, so I cannot find the front of the nude palette, but it basically looks just like the palette does. It has the new nude on it. It has Huda Beauty with this beautiful thing, and they actually sent me one of these. And then the bottom it has Huda Beauty. Her palettes to me are like the most eye-catching. Like as far as like eye-pleasing aesthetics, she kills it. I just hit myself in the face. Okay, so I'm going to do a demo with this look. I'm going to swatch all the colors. We're going to talk about the pros, the cons, the shadows that they could have left out, and all that jazz. So let's jump into the tutorial part. So when Huda sent this package over, she did send over this beautiful like a rose gold robe, which I just love. She sent over this package and it had the eyeshadow palette up like this, 3 brushes that she came out with, and then when I opened it up in here in the bottom it had the robe as well as the headpiece. So the exact same thing that she has on it in the picture she actually sent out in PR, which I think is so awesome. Ooh, maybe I can look cute in this later. I'll try to put that on later for you guys. But I'm so excited about this palette. We know how much I love these colors, so let's dive in, do a tutorial. Okay, so I feel like I should actually use some of the brushes. This one looks like it'd be nice. It's a little bit not as fluffy as I want, and for some reason the bristles are like to the side. But nonetheless, let's try it. So I first want to go in with the shade Bear. And all of these shade names are kind of centered around nude. That is beautiful. They actually do have one shadow in the palette. It's called Concealed right here. And it is actually like a creamy eyeshadow base. I don't know if we'll be using that today because I've already primed my eyes. But this is the first time I'm actually using the nude shade. And it's actually pretty nice. I wish they would have did like a brow bone highlight, like a shimmer shade, because I'm more into shimmers these days. But nonetheless, at least we have one. Ooh, went in a little heavy, didn't I? At least we know they are pigmented. Okay, so there's that. One day I'm going to get the hang of my eyebrows, guys, but right now it's just not happening. Okay, so next we're going to go in with Play. And Play is a really pretty, like, orange soda type vibe. I'm going to try to go in on this and let's see how it works. I don't know if you guys can tell. It's like the bristles on mine for some reason are like turned. I don't know what happened. They're like, but we will try this out with this eyeshadow. Now, I have noticed that this one in particular, you do have to like kind of take your time and build up a little bit. I feel like some of these shades though are super pigmented off the bat. I'll be honest, a lot of my Huda Beauty palettes that I have 3 different ones. I have the original rose gold, I have the remastered, and then I have the, I can't remember the other one's name, but I have 3 of them and I love them. They're ones that I grab for very often. I've took them on most vacations. They have a lot of different things that you can do with them basically. So yeah, here's this shade. Again, it's not the most pigmented. I feel like I need to go in with a different brush a little bit. Let's see what it will do if I go in with just one more brush. Now I have been using this. So like I said, it's just this orange shade. It's not like bam in your face at first swatch. So there it is on the lid shade. Today is all about blending and building. So next we're going to go in with Secret. Secret is more of like a mauve shade. And we're just going to define the, ooh, grab the wrong shade. We're just going to define the crease a little bit more and start getting the more pinky purple type look. And I will have to say the mirror on this is beautiful. I did not just realize that I hadn't taken off the plastic, but the mirror in this is awesome. And I feel like it's really good, especially if you want to travel with this palette. And I'm just blending, blending, blending. You know, sometimes, and I've said this before, I feel like when I do first impressions, especially a full face of first impressions, which I'm obviously not doing today, I get kind of like rushed, and then sometimes I don't feel like the look comes out as good as I want to. So today we're really focusing on blending everything out because I want this look to be beautiful and really give you guys like a true look of how the palette performs. Next, we're gonna go into Tickle, which is a pink shade. I'm actually gonna use that same brush. Make sure it's like nice and tapped out. Now this one's a little bit of a lighter pink. I'm gonna keep this down a little bit lower. Maybe concentrate it a little bit more toward the front of the eye, but then kind of blend it back. And just giving the look a little bit more depth. But as you can see, these shadows are blending beautifully. I don't have any additional product. I'm just kind of going in, going up a little bit, making sure it's nice and blended. So I don't know if the camera's picking it up as good as I can see it in person, but it's just a little bit pinker toward the front. So I'm placing my brush here, but then bringing it over and really just moving it back and forth, mostly in the front. I mean, no patchiness in the shades. Very seamless and blended, and like you don't even have to try, which is nice because a lot of times I don't like putting a lot of effort into stuff on a daily basis. And I feel like this would be a really good daily basis palette. I've actually been wearing it to work. I typically don't even wear that much eyeshadow to work, and here lately I've been getting up every morning and doing my makeup. Who am I? All right, not a lot of fallout, but maybe just like a little hair. So far I'm loving this. All right. I'm going to go into Raw, which is a little bit more of a brownie shade, and we aren't going to take a lot of this, but I am going to take it on this little brush, the Huda brush. I love how pretty these brushes are, but me personally, like if we're being totally honest, I don't really love double-sided brushes for the most part, just because I normally keep my brushes in a like container, like so, and I don't want the one brush hairs getting bent at the bottom. I guess it really just depends on how you store your brushes. So I'm really only concentrating this like right at the edge. I'm not even bringing it all the way over. Honestly, this brush is doing pretty good. It's nice and stiff, but it blends out really good. Just keeping it toward the edge. And I start pushing the product kind of down on the lid. So we are darkening up. I'm liking this so far. You could even like keep going down and getting deeper and just do like an all matte blown out look. But I do want to add some shimmer in this look today because these shimmers are bomb. Where is the shadow I'm looking for? All right, we're gonna go in with Spanked, which is this really pretty pink shade toward the end. Don't you guys just live for the names? They're very interesting. And I'm just kind of keeping this right in the crease and kind of putting a little bit of it on the lid because it's going to be covered up once we put on the lid shade. But this is like bringing back the more like purple vibes with this particular shade. I'll kind of switch back and forth with my brushes real quick. And they're always one eye that you guys do better, and then the other one's like, eh, it's like not the good one. Okay, so let me be honest, haven't used this. This is supposed to be more for like sliding the lid colors on, I believe. Like I said, I haven't used it, but we are going to use it today. I've personally been using my fingers to apply these, which is very different from what I'm used to. Do we have any paint pot? Paint pot, where are you? You know, y'all, I've been trying to contour my nose a little bit. I feel like I might have contoured it sideways today. Okay, let me do this. Okay, so we're gonna put just a little bit of paint pot on my eyelid just to kind of make it stick even more. I will be honest, I have not done it this way yet, so this is gonna be a test. Now, my favorite one that I've been using is Daydream. It's this beautiful metallic lavender. So I've literally just been pressing it on. Oh, do you see this? Pressing it on like so. Now, the only problem that I have is that my fingers get very oily. And so I don't want that to affect the shadow because I kind of am sensing some like hard pan, or maybe the like glitter is rubbing off at the top. I don't know exactly what it is. See if I can show it to you. See how it kind of looks a little bit different in the middle there? So I don't know what that is, but I'm thinking it's probably because of my oily fingers. So that's why we're gonna try out this new handy dandy tool. See how it goes. All right, so it looks like a spatula almost. I want to show you, see, it's like, so we're about to see. Well, it's good if you just want to like place it in certain areas. See, maybe I'm not picking up enough. Oh, there we go. Okay, I mean, took me a few tries, but let me get the back side of it. I guess if you're somebody who has long nails, you don't want to dig your fingers in, that tool actually really does work. So I kind of want to use this on other palettes and see how it performs, but that's really awesome. I'm going to go back into Spank since we have this color down and kind of start working my way around the edges. All right, so just kind of like getting that on the side, around in the edges. And then I'm going to go back in with just a little bit of Secret and Tickle, those lighter shades, and just kind of go in and blend this out a little bit. Lastly, where is the little brush I want? Oh, I don't have it. What the heck? All right, so lastly, I'm going to go back in with this Huda brush. I really liked it. I'm going to go into Love Bite, which is the darkest purple. And we are going to like really kind of tap this on the edge. Just like make it dark on the edge. Not bringing it in all the way. I'm just tap, tap, tap. Keeping it along the edge. Yes, I'm loving this. This is like my look. That's what Rich Lux would say. My look. All right, I probably didn't do it as good as he does. So just tap, tap, tap. Ever so slightly bring it out and up. I am in love right now. Seriously. Okay, next what we're going to do is do underneath the eyes because we do not want to leave that part out. Now, luckily, the brushes do come with this right here. So I'm going to go in with Love Bite, which is that darkest shade. I'm going to put it very, very close to that lower lash line. And then, because I could still want it to be a little bit dark, I'm going to mix in Spanked and Love Bite and smoke it out. Just back and forth. And I do like to kind of like make sure it connects. I should have not done this in the day. I would like to wear this out tonight. I am going to go put on some lashes, liner, lipstick, and then I'll be back and we'll talk all about the palette. Okay, let me take this off and stop being goofy. Ah. All right, so here is the finished look. I'm really actually very excited on how it came out, honestly. I love this palette. Like, this is probably one of my top palettes of 2018. I'm so glad that it came out before the end of the year. It's all of my colors. It's just everything right up my alley, and I love the metallics. So you guys kind of already know, like, the review on it. But nonetheless, there are some shades that aren't my favorite in this, so I still want to swatch everything and give you guys some pros and cons. So let's do it. All right, so first shade we have in the palette is Bear. This is a beautiful white matte shade. You can use it all over the lid. You can use it as a brow bone highlight, whatever you want to do. The next one we have is Crave. And Crave is a sickening gold shade. And it has like little flecks of, I don't know what it is, if you guys can see it. There's like little flecks of like white chunks in these foiled shades, and it gives them just like a even like more metallic look, if that makes sense. I just think that this formula is amazing. So yeah, that is Crave. Next one we have is Play, which was the orange soda-y shade, and I'm gonna do 2 layers of swatches on this one just so you can see. But it's like a orange soda type matte shade, and it's really good all over the lid. The next one is Fantasy, and Fantasy is a cranberry metallic shade. And like, you only need 1 swatch for these shadows. They are very, very pigmented and blinding. I mean, they're just so pretty. All right, next you have Love Bite, which is a dark cranberry purple. Now, this one doesn't swatch well at all. I'm gonna do 1 more layer so you can see, but it's the shade that's on the outer corners of my lid, and on the eyes it blends very pretty, and it is very pigmented. That's Love Bite. Okay, very last shade in the last row is Spanked, and this is a little bit of a lighter pinky shade, and that's the second to last shade that I used on the lids. So there's that, and that is Spanked. So they're up close in person. Well, not in person, but you know what I mean. That is your first row. Okay, next we're gonna do the second row, and the first shade that we have is called Lace, and it is a really pretty lavender purple. And this one is very pigmented. I actually haven't even used this one, but it feels really, really good. That is Lace. The next one we have is Daydream, which is what I'm wearing on my lid. Oh, I cannot get enough of this shade. It's so pretty. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I love this so much. I cannot remember if it's a limited edition or not, but I ordered a second palette for backup. I just had to do it. So there's that one. The first palette was actually sent to me in PR, but I did purchase a backup. So there's Daydream. Let me get these swatches off my arm. Next shade is Tickle, and it is a mauve shade. This was another one I used in the tutorial. Oh, this everything about these colors is just right up my alley. Okay, so the next one is Excite, and this is a glitter. And there is swatched on the hand. It is a little bit flaky, so you need to be careful and really apply a primer if you want to use it. Maybe like the paint pot before you go in, or even a glitter glue, just so that way you make sure it stays on the lids and not all over your face. Okay, the next one is Infatuated, and it is another glitter shade. I feel like these are very similar, so I feel like we could have did without one of them in the palette, but nonetheless, they are absolutely gorgeous. I will be honest, I have not used these on my eyes, but just from the formula of them, I would definitely, like I said, go in with the glitter. Okay, last shade in this row is called Kinky, and this one is more of a just fold shade, but it's not fold and chunky. To me, it's like the only one in this palette that is like this formula. Oh, but it is so creamy. Absolutely gorgeous. And then now for the very last row. This row has more like brown tones in it. So you do have the concealed shade. I'm not going to swatch that since you guys already saw that. The next one is called Secret, and it is just like a light brown shade. You could actually use this as a transition color if you wanted to. Then the next one is called Tease, and it is kind of like a darker muted purple mauve shade. I mean, these mattes in this palette though, they're really nice. We have Raw right there. This one's more like bronzy. And then you have Charmed, which is the last like fold shade. I cannot get over how beautiful this palette is. These are probably my favorite fulls out of all of her shadows. And I mean, I love her shadows. And then last but not least, we have Teddy. That is another light brown shade. Kind of similar to this one, just a little bit lighter. I don't think I did it up close of the last row because I was so excited about it, but there is the last row. So let's talk pros and cons. Pros of the palette is it's a really nice palette. I love the size of it. It's great for travel. Comes with a beautiful mirror that you could do your whole face in. I mean, you can see like your entire face. You could flip it over and see even more, but it's a really, really good size. And then just the overall palette is absolutely beautiful. If you lean toward like really neutral shades that you could wear every day, I think this would be a palette for you. But what I like is it kind of like gets spiced up because you have shades that can really make your eyes pop. You have the glitter shades, which I think is really awesome. You have the metallic shades, which just like draw so much attention to your eyes. And then you could even do an all matte look. And I love when palettes incorporate lots of mattes and lots of metallics, and it's not just like an all matte palette with like 2 metallics or all metallics with a few mattes. I love that. I love just the whole theme of the palette. I love the shade names and just everything. Love it. But I do have some cons. So as far as cons go, the price point. It is $65. That is expensive. That is the price that her palettes do retail for. But I'll say this. The Naked palettes, the Urban Decay Naked palettes, I think they're like $49 or $52. I can't remember the exact price. I would much rather put $13 or $15 more into a palette and get this. And I'm just using that specific one as an example. This one to me is something personally that I would grab for, but it is $65 like I said, so it is a con just because of the price point is on up there. The other thing is you may not like the glitter shades. I love them, but it is not something I'm going to grab for every day. So even though this would be an everyday palette for me, I wouldn't use every shade every day, if that makes sense. The other thing is a couple of the shades like Play, you do have to build them up a little bit, but for the most part all of them are pretty pigmented. And then last con would be the metallics. I love them. They apply okay with a brush, but they apply much better with your fingers. So if you're somebody who does not like to use your fingers in a palette, then this one would be a con. But I will say, if you do get this brush, you can definitely apply it with a brush. Not saying you can't with another brush. You might just have to work a little bit harder, but I did really like this brush. So that is my thoughts on the nude palette. I personally love, love, love it. I would totally recommend you guys checking it out. It would be a really great Christmas gift for someone. And yeah. So I hope that this video was helpful. I've definitely been testing the palette for, I think I got it 2 weeks ago, maybe like a week and a half. I know that I've used it a lot. I mean, I pretty much had used almost every shade before I did this video. So I love you guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. Are you picking it up? And as always, I love you so much. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.